What's up, everybody? Frankie5152. And here we are with the first episode of the Fantasy Football, the league updates of We Know People and We Drink. It's the name of the league. We've been together for 5 or 6 years now. And before we get into, this is going to be episode 1. So episode 1, what we're going to cover here is we're going to cover our draft and predictions. So first, let's go ahead and look at the teams and how they're built. And then some of the scoring, some of the important stuff. And then we'll get into who drafted what and how that's looking. And then some predictions is what we'll do. So if you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a comment. Let's argue a little bit on how you think the draft went out. What players you're looking forward to seeing this year and how they're going to do. Because a lot of things changed this offseason, which makes this year really interesting. We did the live draft, of course. Week 15 and 16 is our playoffs. It's 4 teams. Our roster positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, a kicker, a defense, and then 8 bench spots. It's a 10-man league, and having that many bench spots makes people interact a little bit more with the trading rather than just feeding off the waiver wire. Something I prefer to have. More bench spots so that way there is more transactions and interactions between our members. We all know each other for the most part, so we should be able to talk and get together and whatnot. Passing yards. Everything else from here is very basic and very standard. One thing that you will see that's not on the list already that needs to be added before the start of the year is that we are doing a half-point PPR added on to this. It's not on here yet. I will be getting with the commissioner later to make sure that is updated before next Thursday. Because here we are on Thursday. The last games of the preseasons are tonight, and I'm excited to watch a couple of those, see who gets cut, see who gets to stick around. So there is the basic scoring and settings. Here's a look at the teams. As you see, we all start at zeros. Last year's winner, where is he at? Toph. There it is. Squirt me, Whitey. And I was second place this past year. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the draft board. So here we are. Boom. Before we really get a good look, I want to bring up team number 9 for Chris Layer there. Unfortunately, had to go away this past weekend and was not able to join us for the draft. We drafted a week early to accommodate as many people as possible. Normally, we'd like to draft this weekend for Labor Day weekend. But too many people were going to be out of town. Unfortunately, only one person was not able to make it last week due to a change of scheduling. And we have some rules because we want live drafts, and that's what makes this league so great. Live drafting, everybody's there, we can heckle and give each other a hard time. So if you miss a draft, penalties are as such. You have to draft a kicker or a member of the line is not named Matt Stafford. We're Detroiters here, homies. So he got Golden Tate. We were able to get him on the phone. Other than that, he was going to get Prater. We were going to give him a line and a kicker for the first round. And then after that, you must fill all your spots before getting your bench players. So kind of have to auto-do him a little bit there. And then we all agreed on the kind of top picks for him as well because we still want him to be competitive. We don't want him to be out. We want him to be competitive and still have a decent year. But we do plan on beating him. My team, no hoops. I drafted 10th. That is my preferred position to actually draft. 1st or 10th. So I am very happy drafting with the back-to-back. As you can see, I picked up T.Y. Hilton and Michael Thomas. Now, T.Y. Hilton, didn't do my homework very well before this. And Andrew Luck may miss most of the season, it seems. So that will hurt him. But with the half-point PPR, I hope he'll be all right. But I also knew going in with my draft strategy, I was not going to take running backs early. I was going to wait for a long time. As you can see, I managed to wait till the 6th round before I picked up my first running back, and I went back-to-back running backs for 6th and 7th. After I had 4 wide receivers and a tight end, I wanted to get the PPR stuff underway, and unless you're getting the top guys, as you saw David Johnson and LaDavian Bell, they went quickly. So not going to waste my time with running backs for a while, because after that, they're all kind of even. And I still think I got some Ty Montgomery and Mike Gillislee. I think those two are going to be awesome this year. So not too worried about that. Going through the rest of the draft, I like my chances to easily make it to the playoffs. Even though Yahoo Draft Grade gave me a D+. Only person to finish behind me was Topher. And as you can see, he also went wide receiver heavy. He actually went a little bit harder on the running backs than he normally does. So it's going to be interesting as we continue to just bruise over this. Lots and lots of different draft strategies. As you can see, most of us waited for defense and kicker last. Some of us went for the backup, went kicker a little bit earlier, and then went for a backup quarterback. We all have a little bit different in draft strategies, as you can see. Going first, David Johnson, followed up with Alshon Jeffrey and Rob Gronkowski. As Gronk's healthy, he's going to be a machine as usual. But if he's not healthy, could hurt. And then we'll have to see how Alshon Jeffrey does in the Eagles uniform. That's going to be something to watch for this year. I think it will be very interesting to see. He's still got the speed with the new quarterback. Unfortunately, you see, we drafted before the 3rd game, so right there, Meredith, he's out. I think there's a couple of other people that have been sent now, so the waiver wire will already be happening real quick before next Thursday. So Thursday morning, expect the episode 2, by the way. We'll be going over line setups and stuff like that for that. With my predictions for my setup. So those watching in my league get a sneak peek of what I'm thinking. So let's go preseason predictions. I want everybody to take a nice good look at it. Write down in the comments who you think has the best draft. So we're going to go over this real quick. I'm, of course, going to be a self-lover and say I had the best draft. And I really think so. I mean, Chris Hogan in the 10th round is a steal, especially with Julian Edelman going down. Everybody knew Julian Edelman went down. Still slept on Chris Hogan. So I think that was a mistake by a lot of other people. So I was able to pick him up nice and cheap. Great bench players. Todd Gurley, you don't know how he's going to do. So he is going to be hurting because he's got Amir Abdullah, Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, Carlos Hyde, Tyler Burkhead, and Jamal Williams. So not too sure how the champ right there, Mess, is going to fare this year. I think he went a little bit running back heavy because he struggled last year running back heavy. And then that, of course, I believe, hurts him with his wide receivers. He's got Mike Evans, Tarius Bryant, Jamison Crowder, Brandon Marshall. Brandon Marshall in New York Giants uniform. I'll tell you what, that's surprising to me. I did not see that one coming. So we will see here. But I'm going to put out my four playoff contenders. Well, myself, I'm going to put Topher. If Ezekiel Elliott can get healthy, that might be very interesting. Antonio Brown, DeMarco Murray, Demaryius Thomas, Tom Brady. I think prolapse might be in there. And Wentz we trust. I like his draft. So I'm going to say he's the underdog. He finished last year. He could be the sleeper this year and steal that 4th spot. So 1, 2. Topher's myself. And Wentz we trust. And prolapse. I think that's what I'm going to go for our 4 playoff contenders this year. But we will just have to wait and see. Just so you all can see what we are playing for besides the money. Right here. This is from year 1, of course. This here is your girlfriend. She's sexy. And we all want to take her home. So leave a comment below what you think. Who's your bold predictions for the preseason? Tune in next week.